This is my completely stock Porsche Cayenne Turbo, but it used to look like this.
And it was a whole different animal. It had 620 horsepower from its 4.8 litre twin turbo V8. It made noises like this. It had driveline issues, large suspension issues, it needed assistance from a tuning wizard and a million other issues. In this video, I'm going to be taming this beast by returning it to factory standard.
But first, why am I trying to unmodify this car? Who wouldn't want a fire-breathing 620 horsepower monster? Well, Naomi wouldn't.
Naomi is my long-suffering other half, and I bought this car for her.
Now, Naomi thinks that her 2-litre diesel Golf is a fast car, so I can tell you right now, she doesn't need 620 horsepower. And if I'm completely honest with you, neither does this car, because not only is this now 17 years old, but it's also got 180,000 miles. Now, one of my big goals with this channel is to stop cars from being scrapped, is to save the cars that are on the brink. I think the best thing that we can do to ensure that this car has a long life is to detune it and de-stress it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, there is a long way to go until this car is in a great condition.
This car has previously been through its annual inspection and it failed. Now, here's the list of all the things that it failed on. Now, the way that the test works is that from the point of the test, you have 10 working days to take the car back to get these things checked if you manage to fix them, so that you don't have to retest the entire car again, and crucially, you don't have to pay for another inspection. My 10 days are up tomorrow. So today, I'm going to focus on, right now, as quickly as I possibly can, on just attacking these bits here. They're the only bits that are actually keeping this car off the road. So I'm just going to go like mad, try and get these done so that I can get this car straight back over to the test centre to get tested so that I don't have to pay again. Right, we've got a motor.
First up was to fix the gammy wipers. Now, the problem that I have is that only one of the wipers is actually wiping the driver's side. I had previously removed this entire mechanism, which it turned out I did not need to do. And there's only 3 bolts to reinstall this.
The fix really should involve just refitting all of this gubbins and actually tightening down all the things that need to be tightened down so that the wipers work. I think it's as easy as that. And so the next item on this list, and deeply related to what I've just done, is windscreen washer provides insufficient washer liquid.
This simply means that the washer reservoir is empty and needs filling up. So I did just that. I also took the opportunity to sort out the missing reservoir lid by taking one off of the parts car. And I think we'd all agree that it would be hell of an effort to get myself into any kind of trouble doing such a simple job. But I have to agree to disagree. The next item from the inspection was parking brake efficiency below requirements. This just translates to the parking brake shoes are done for and require replacement. To get started, I just had to remove the rear wheels.
Who did this up? Unbelievable. I have never, in my small mechanicking career, experienced wheel nuts on that tight. What? That's how it should be.
I believe that you can get a good idea of the type of person that's worked on a car by how the small things are done. If the wheels are done up too tight, then how many other horrors am I about to uncover as I dig deeper into this car? With the wheels off, I could then remove the brake caliper. I also got to use this funky impact screwdriver thing that I recently bought, which is absolutely perfect for these rusty disc retaining screws. And then I removed the disc to see what problems lurked within. That is clinging on for dear life. I spruced up the components that I was reusing. And then it was on with the new shoes. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is a pretty fiddly job. Then it was back on with the disc, and I snugged up the wheel bolts. Emphasis on the word snug. Oh, and I also replaced the shoes on the other side. Lovely. Next up, offside front lower suspension arm ball joint dust cover no longer prevents the ingress of dirt. Translated as, your ball joint is broken. To fix this issue, I'm just replacing the whole control arm. They're inexpensive. You get the added bonus of replacing the other two bushes at the same time, and it's also a pretty simple job. To run into any issues here would be unlucky, to say the least.
Nothing is ever easy, and I tell you what, it's always the easy jobs that end up being the hardest.
So all I'm trying to do is get this lower arm out. Now, you can see this bolt came out really well. The back bolt, if you can see in there, is out. Now this front bolt, got the nut off on the back, but this bolt is just spinning in there. It won't come out. And what I suspect has happened is inside here, in the actual lower arm itself, there's a metal sleeve that goes through a rubber bushing, and then the bolt goes through the metal sleeve and out the other side. I think this fused to the sleeve in there, which is just fantastic. There's nothing I can do to get that out. I think my only option that I'm left to do, cut up there and then cut up the back, basically just absolutely demolishing this bolt. And of course what that means is that I am going to miss my retest for this car. So because that's tomorrow, I'm not gonna be able to get a new bolt for tomorrow morning. It's quite late now. So this car is gonna have a full retest now that I'm gonna have to pay for, which is very irritating, but I just can't see another way around it. So it is about a week later now. I can slow down. I missed my MOT spot, obviously, but what I have got is I do have some new bolts for this lower arm. And the main task right now is I need to get this bolt out. Now, I'm not lying when I say I've tried all of the things. Well, all of the ordinary things. I have bashed it with a hammer. I've bashed it with a hammer and chisel. I've heated it. I've shouted at it. I've done all of the normal things, and that bolt still won't come out. I'm just gonna have to try and come in here with a grinder, you know, and just try and slot in there and grind in between this piece of chassis and the actual arm itself. And to be dead clear here, what I think's happened, this is the new arm that's got to go in there. So you can see there's a metal sleeve in there, right? That metal sleeve inside that bushing is what is fused to the bolt. And then I suppose actually just by looking at this, I can make sure that if that's the same, as long as I stay as close to this edge as possible, I might just get up there. Whop, whop. I could do with a bigger blade. Right, these blades are too small. That's not going to fit. That isn't going to go up there. There's not enough. The blade isn't big enough kind of that way. So what I've done is I've gone and borrowed one of these things from my friends at Torque Monkey just down the road. Never used one of these before. No idea if this is even going to be powerful enough to do this, but that will at least get in there, I know that. Really, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And that is to just give it full beans with eye protection. Honestly, I've got no idea if that's even doing anything. It's gonna be a long afternoon. Give it a bit of lubrication. Come on! Come on! There it is. Sawed straight through it. What a cracking little tool. Ah, yes. This is the problem. Look, you see how the bolt, it's just completely stuck in there in that sleeve. So, whap, whap, ta-da! Now all I need to do, hopefully then, is this new arm that I've got down here. This should go in really, really quite simply in comparison. And of course I've got my new bolts. These are proper like camber adjusted bolts. You can see they've got these big washers and they're kind of like offset and stuff. And it's these bolts that actually adjust the camber and whatever else, the toe in and all sorts of stuff on this arm. And it gives the wheels their alignment, their proper alignment. So this car will have to go for a proper alignment at the tyre place, which is fine. But for now, you can just kind of get these up there, get them fitted in somewhat, and you know they're going to be not fitted somewhat. You know, everything tightened down nicely, just not aligned. Yeah, everything's good. All right, sweet, right. Finally, a little bit of progress. Let me just get this arm in then. I mean, this really is just kind of like 3 bolts and a nut. And there we go. New arm installed. Lovely stuff. But here's the thing. I am still not out of the danger zone. It is good practice to change these lower control arms in pairs, which means that this one now needs to come out. And, well, it's just the same bolts. And I don't know why, but I didn't check last week when I was started off that side, if this one would come off at all. So I've got no idea how this is gonna go. Oh, maybe lift the car up a bit, Nino. It's gonna smash me in the face, isn't it? I think good practice might have to die a little bit of a death today because if this doesn't come out in the next couple of minutes, it wasn't flagged on the inspection, it is all in good order. I shall leave it for now in the interests of actually getting anything done. You absolutely shouldn't do this, but I am. Did that do something? It's a great way to absolutely annihilate your tools. But sometimes needs must, you know. Oh, I might have got it. A little bit. But it's absolutely one of those things where it's working. I've loosened it off. So if it actually works, is it a terrible idea? You know? And don't worry, you know, they're my tools that I'm destroying, so I won't worry about it. Don't worry yourself too much. I'm certainly not. So I got the nut off of the back of the bolt there, but now really is the actual moment of truth where to see if I can spin this front one. And this is where we're going to see if it is or is not stuck like the other one was in the bushing. What way's left, isn't it? Okay, please. Oh no. Right. And there it is. New suspension arm in on this side too, all torqued up, everything lovely, jubbly. So glad that's over with.
And with that ordeal over, it was time to get the car to its inspection.
So I was just about to head out and I thought actually there's probably a really quick little fix that I can still do just before we go. And that is, I don't know if it will do it now, but it's hard to start. I'm not sure it's a starter motor. Sometimes it takes like 3 times to get going. The seller of the car did tell me that the starter motor relay is actually a bit dodgy, he thinks. So let's see if I can just get it to not start, which is not something I thought I'd ever say. Yeah. And then 2, 3, 4. So the quick little fix is this. Down in here you can see that is the starter motor relay. It's missing its cover, and if you squeeze it, it does, well, hang on, what you'd expect a relay would do, which is to operate and try and start the car. Now let's just see if it is that. Obviously I have my lovely parts car over here, and I do believe we have a starter motor relay in here. Well, I know we do for sure. Should be this one here. Let's not forget this car did run and I have actually driven it, so that I know this is a good working unit. It had no starting problems. Let me just switch this out without getting electrocuted, preferably. You could always disconnect the battery. Yeah, I know I could. Life's more fun like this. I mean, I can't imagine it. Is it this? Because it works when you squeeze it. So you'd think that it's actually still operating, no? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Trying to avoid fitting a new starter motor. Now let's see if this has done anything whatsoever. I'd love it if it has, of course. Hey, is it as easy as that? No. God damn it. Oh. Needs a new starter, doesn't it, I bet? Or maybe there's a ground loose or something somewhere. It does start, you see. Oh, that's so annoying. Just had an interesting development. I just borrowed this tool from, guess who, Torque Monkey. Thank you as ever, guys. It's just a battery tester basically, but there's a function on here where you can test the starting system, and I've just turned the car on obviously, and it is saying that the minimum voltage to start the car was 6.46 volts, which it says there is too low. So I am wondering actually if maybe it just needs a new battery. That would be amazing. Now I did fit a brand new battery to this car, and it is, I think, hopefully, unless someone's stolen it, should still be in here. So maybe I've got time quickly. Have I got time? Yeah, I might just be able to switch the batteries over and see if that's all it is. Obviously I can't get the car out. I've got no room. I've got a car now. This is not my car. So I've got to try and do it in this tiny little gap. Should be all right, maybe.
Now, I've made multiple references to the parts car, so if you're new around here, say a big hello to my other Cayenne, a first generation 2004 turbo. I bought this car for just £450. It was so cheap because it had been off the road for years, to the point where it was supporting its own ecosystem. I tried in vain to bring this car back to life, but when I pulled the engine apart, I discovered catastrophic engine damage. And with repair quotes coming in north of £15,000 and no used engines on the market, I knew it was just never going to go back on the road. But I ended up holding on to this car because I knew it would be of value from beyond the grave. Not only that, but you'll want to keep watching to see what I ended up doing with the old broken engine from this car. It's magnificent.
Cannot believe this hasn't been stolen. Okay, replacement battery fitted. It's not the battery. How annoying. Oh well, I will have to work it out, but it's not preventing the car from actually driving, because like I said, it does always start, but it probably is the starter motor, isn't it? Right, that was much ado about a starter motor. I'm probably just gonna have to replace it, check all the grounds and everything, but not right now, because I do now need to get this to its inspection.
So I scooted over to the test centre, handed over my keys and crossed my fingers and hoped I'd done enough to finally make this car road legal.
So I am back at the workshop and I have the results right here, and it passed. Hey, that's great news, but it is a pass with defects, which we knew about, right? Because all of these other items I didn't fix. So everything is good, so we've got a pass there.
This now meant that I could turn my attention back to the starting issue, and there was one more thing I wanted to try before shelling out on a new starter motor. But of course, it wasn't going to be as easy as that.
So you may be wondering what on earth I'm up to now. I haven't touched anything else on this car, and I just went to open the bonnet and the handle inside does nothing. Absolutely nothing, which is fantastic. So I don't know how this has happened basically in the journey home from the MOT centre, but I can no longer open the bonnet. I've just pulled the handle apart. There's nothing wrong on that end of things. So all I can assume is that there's some kind of issue further on, maybe the cable snapped halfway up or at the actual latch itself. And so what I'm having to do here is just pull off the wheel arch on this side to get to the emergency bonnet release, which is like right in there. Oh, this one's much easier to get to than on that old one. It's right here. Ta-da! Right, add this to the list of things that needs fixing. Oh, jolly. So as a temporary little fix, because you can see I've refitted the, the wheel arch liner, and then I've just hooked a whole series of cable ties all the way around up to the puller. And so you just pull this now. Now obviously I know it pokes out, but that should do. It's just as a temporary thing until I can actually investigate further in there. Now I want to do one more test on this starter motor before I dive in there and actually fit a new starter motor. So what I've done here is I've got a jump lead and I've run it from the negative terminal of the battery under the seat. And then I've connected the other end to the engine itself. And the reason I've done that is because then I know now that there is absolutely a solid earth from the battery to the engine. I know this cable is good and I know I'm on a good mounting point on the engine. So if I can turn the engine on now and it catches first time and it, repeatedly starts, then we know the starter motor is probably good, and then we've got some kind of chassis ground, engine ground problem somewhere. And if I'm completely honest, I'm not sure which one I'd rather at this point. Maybe actually would rather it just be the starter motor, because trying to find ground issues. Woo! Uh-oh. All right, let's try that again. Please don't start, please don't start. Ah. Okay, let's order a starter motor. Loopy Lou, I'm coming for you.
Loopy Lou being my little sister, Bianca, branch manager and all-round parts wizard at a motor parts company. She takes her job very seriously, and so our conversation started off in its usual sincere manner.
I reckon one day we might just start a conversation like normal human beings.
Yeah, one day. I didn't expect it. Like I thought you just sent a link, but you're just there.
Right, can I give you...
Oh. Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. It's just so funny.
JFZ 8766.
120 for that?
When for?
You'd get it. They'd get it for tomorrow.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you ever so much. Goodbye. Always a hoot. Okay, starter motor coming.
With the starter motor on order, I now had a pressing appointment to attend, one that could either make or break my entire goal of unmodifying this car.
I'm on my way now to get someone to take a look at the ECU, and they told me it might not even be possible to remove the map that is on this car. We'll find out more in a minute, but what you need to know about the way this car has been tuned. This car was actually mapped on a rolling road by the previous owner, or he had it mapped on a rolling road. And the way that it's been done, and this is exactly what he told me, was that it's been mapped specifically to have the sport button on. So when you press the sport button, you get increased throttle response, and the gear shift, the gearbox becomes more reactive. It's always dropping a gear, and it does that to keep the revs up. And that's because the way it's been tuned is that you don't get any power out of this thing until starts coming in at about 3,500 RPM. And the previous owner told me that he used to drive this car with the gearbox in manual mode, and so he liked to keep the revs as high as possible, and he just went everywhere, just driving it, I think, like a bit of a madman, keeping the revs up and shifting manually on the box. And that's absolutely fantastic if that's how you want to drive this car. But for normal driving, just around town, for the kind of driving that Naomi does, I can assure you that's not what you want. And so there are some issues driving this thing. There is no low down power. There's hardly any low down power. It all comes in later on, and it does actually make it a little bit difficult to drive. So if you pull up to a roundabout or a junction, you want to quickly nip out in traffic, there's nothing there. The car's really slow to respond, but then it eventually does get going, and then the gearbox will kick down, and then all of a sudden you're at 3,500 RPM, all the power comes in, all 620 brake horsepower and all of the torque, and then you take off, and you're only meant to come out at a junction. Not only that, but because you're always having to kind of rev this car right up there just to get it to go anywhere, the fuel economy is single digits. Now I know the fuel economy on this isn't great, but it's not always, single digit fuel economy. And then the other problem as well is that it's also been specifically tuned to run on 99 octane fuel. Now not only is that not the easiest fuel to actually find, but it costs an absolute complete fortune. Like, I'll put the prices on screen now. It's just a nightmare. And the car has also been tuned specifically for the air filter setup that this car's got, and also for this exhaust. So before I go removing any of that or trying to put slightly cheaper fuel in it, we need to get this ECU seen to. And so where I'm going now is to see a tuning company who have agreed to take a look at this car and see if they can help me actually reset this ECU back to factory standard, which, by the way, is 500 brake horsepower still, which, you know, it's not a small number. So, but one of the things they have told me is that it might not necessarily be as simple as that. And if they can't reset it, then I might be in a whole heap of pain. Why am I not surprised? So I'm here at a company called Redline Tuning, and I know these guys because kind of by accident they cleaned the injectors on my Porsche 944, and I realised that they did tuning when I popped down, so I'm back. So what you do now, you're just going to read it and make sure you can kind of connect to it.
We're IDing the car,
yeah,
and then basically this will tell us if we can, as we spoke about before, if the map has been locked. But the whole point of what we're doing at the moment is to try and read the map on the car.
Yep.
Alright, so really 10 minutes.
Yep. Right. So now Russell is going to upload that file to somewhere, and they're going to try reading it and do something with it, reset it, I don't know. But it does mean that now we wait. I don't know how long, I'll just cut to the good news.
The good news is they have been able to read the file.
Lovely.
And they have sent through what they believe is the original Porsche file.
Lovely. So you load the map onto there, and then it's you just upload it into the ECU and...
Yep.
Is that it?
That is it.
Alright, so according to the computer there, the ECU has now been reset back to factory specifications. Only one way to find out though. It'll take a couple of goes to get it started.
Really?
Just needs a new starter.
Oh, is it?
Just keep going, give it a few goes.
Still sounds really nice.
It still sounds fruity.
Yeah. Keep the exhaust on it. Keep the exhaust on it. It's so much fun.
The missus will not allow me to keep that exhaust on it. Honestly, it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah, the ultimate proof of the pudding is the customer driving the car. Now, you said you felt the most issues over 3,500 revs.
Well, there was nothing until 3,500. So, where should I go? Left?
Go that way.
Go right. I could tell the difference instantly. Even that would have been... I barely tickled the throttle there. And you can... Like, it really felt like there was about a 1.6 petrol engine in it. Until you got to 3,500, and then it just goes, wah.
Yeah.
No, it's completely different. I haven't gone above 20 miles an hour yet. It's an utterly different car. Oh yeah, no, that's... Oh, so nice.
When you feel you want to boot it.
Oh, so nice.
Is that a different car?
Mate, honestly, that is a different car. Look, oh. Even I tell you what, it even feels, the gearbox feels tighter, yeah, more responsive. It was it was hunting like crazy before. This will be a test, just coming away from...
This is
we're at a roundabout now, so I'm just going to pull out like normal. And before, it'd hunt, kick down. Oh, straight away. Oh, it wouldn't do that. It'd go, come out into the junction, you see traffic coming, you wouldn't be moving. Gearbox would try and kick down, then 3,000 RPM, I'd have rear-ended this car, this Aston.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. That's cracking.
Back at the workshop, my new starter motor had arrived and there was nothing for it but to just dig in and get it changed. Now, unlike many engines that have the starter at the bottom of the engine, these Porsche V8s have them up top, buried underneath the inlet manifold right in the V of the engine. This means there's a whole load of components to remove in order to get access, which also means that there are 100 ways this could all go wrong.
Okay, I have run into some issues. What a surprise. I just knew this wasn't going to be easy. I just knew it. So here we are in the valley of the engine. Right there, that's the starter motor. So what I'm trying to do is just remove all of this gubbins on top, get to the starter motor that sits right in the V on top of the transmission at the back of the engine. And to do that, I have to remove this fuel rail. Now that's kind of all cool, you know, these have all come off. Now there are 4 bolts holding this down to the engine. One there, and you see this thing there, there's one there, and then there's one down there. Now, I've got a funny feeling that the reason that the starter motor on this car hasn't been changed or wasn't changed by previous owners is because someone did actually try to get in it and give it a go. You can see I've got my Torx bit in there. Now the bolt that holds this down is a bit stripped and I'm having trouble getting a good purchase on it with any kind of tool. You can see the access down there is minute anyway, but it's a bit stripped that you can kind of, it doesn't quite, there's not much purchase on it whatsoever. And I'm also going to assume that the last person in here that gave this a go also snapped that, which is this breather line here, and you can see, look, basically it's been wrapped in this, that tape there. That goes on there like that. That is snapped off, so someone's definitely been in there, they've stripped that bolt out, snapped that off, and they thought, oh, you know what, I'm not going any further, I can't be bothered with this, I'm already making a hash out of it. And they've just kind of put stuff back together, wrapped the tape around it, and then just forgotten about it. And then also, another thing that I've noticed, there's a vacuum line here with a screw in it, which is never a good sign. I'm pretty sure that screw actually goes into this pipe here, which you can see has got a load of tape around it also. Look, I can kind of start peeling it off. I think it's basically just electrical tape. So really this needs sorting, this pipe needs sorting, this connector in there needs sorting. I still need to somehow work out how I'm going to get this bolt out so I can get this rail removed and then get into the starter motor itself. But that's not all, folks. If you can see down there in the valley, see all that pink? That is coolant leaking from somewhere. And I've just had a bit of a research, and it can leak from a whole number of places. It can leak from the thermostat in there. It can leak from these pipes here. It can leak from this pipe in here. There's a big pipe down there it can leak from. There's another pipe, I think it's this one over here, plastic pipe, it can leak from there. It can leak from a million different places. I can't get in there and have a proper look until I get this off. But it's a very difficult one to see where the liquid's actually coming from, to be honest with you. This is what happens when people get really ham-fisted with stuff. I mean, I've done it, so I'm not complaining, you know, it happens. I think what I'm going to have to do here, so the car runs, we know the car runs, the starter motor definitely needs doing. I've made some inquiries already. Those vacuum lines are going to take a couple of weeks to come. I think they've got to come from Germany. They're going to take a couple of weeks to come, so I think I might have to come back and do this at a later date. The vacuum lines, that is. Those vacuum lines at the back, and also this water leak here in the valley. Again, the part's just going to take a few weeks to turn up. I might do another video, I'm not sure yet. But I think I still need to just attack this starter, get in there, try and get this one single little Torx bolt removed, just so I can get that fuel rail out and then get the starter in. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And then come back at a later date fix all these niggly little problems. Now, you know, I've done a bit of mileage in this car now, and I haven't had to top the coolant up. So I think that coolant leak in there is just old, and it's also slow. It's obviously built up over a long period of time. The car's got 180,000 miles. It's had plenty of time to get that bad. But I just need this start doing. So I don't know how I'm gonna get this bolt out. This is the only tool that I can get in there. Okay, so I've got a temporary solution here. I've got this kit of what's-it-machiggers, these things knocking around. Got a little bit of heater hose on the end of this pipe here that's broken, Jubilee clip on there, fairly light, and then that's just going to now go in there like that, and should suffice until I can get a new one of these. And if this works, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to get a whole new one. £110 plus tax for this pipe. So if that holds, it might well become a temporary forever fix. I'm gonna get that in there now. No, I'm not. I've got to get this fuel rail out. Oh. So the only way I can think of doing this is to climb aboard like this, probably break something that I'm kneeling on, get this in there on that stripped Torx, and then just lean on it with my weight. Yeah. There you go. New starter motor in, looking pretty. Of course, I didn't test it before I put it in because I like to make things hard for myself, and I can't wait to come in here and have to take it all out again. But yeah, okay, cool. I'm just now gonna get to putting all of this back on, just bolt everything back up. I will insert my little fix for the hoses up there, and we're reconvening them, well, for me in probably 7 days, for you in a second. Ta-da! Everything's back together. That really wasn't too difficult, if I'm completely honest with you. I hope I haven't missed anything. I hope my repair on this hose holds up. There's nothing for it really, is there? As we know now, is but to just hop in and hope, pray. If this has the same problem, I genuinely don't know where to go from there, and I'll be really annoyed because, you know, starter motors aren't cheap, and that was a whole load of effort and time to do that. So I'm very much hoping, assuming, to be quite honest with you, that I'm going to get in, turn the key, and the car's just going to boom, boom. Here it goes. Please. Nothing. Well, that would be because the battery is not reconnected. So with the battery now connected, I'm hoping, boom, boom. Come on. Well, that starter definitely sounded healthy, and of course because I had the fuel rail was off. I imagine that's why it took a little bit of time to get going. Just listen to this exhaust, it's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. Let me just try and start the car again normally now. I should probably just put this bonnet down. Oh, didn't want to do that. Okay, now let's try again properly. I don't believe it. Oh. Ah. Oh, that's painful. Oh, no. I hate cars. I hate working on cars. I hate my life. What's that then? What's that then? You had so much go in it there with that very first crank where it was going a bit. It was just, is there something electrical then that's making it cut out or not? That very first crank, it was just cranking and cranking and cranking. It sounded healthy, then it got going. And then every time, you just turn in the key now and it just cuts out. No matter, I don't know. That's a complete mystery and a complete waste of time and money and effort. Oh, that's really annoyed me. That's genuinely annoyed me, that has. So, things have gone from bad to way worse. I decided, funnily enough, that I should probably just research the issue. I think most people would have thought that that was just the starter motor, maybe the fuel pressure. But I'm on the forums and it seems like it's, I wouldn't say really common, but there are people with this exact issue. And there are specialists, Porsche specialists weighing in this thread as well. And they've seen this exact problem. And what it boils down to is the timing chain. The timing chain is probably stretched. And then there's the two camshafts are reading different speeds as a result of the chain being stretched, and then the ECU is just cutting the starter out. And then it does eventually go, and this is why sometimes it goes first time, sometimes it takes 2 times, sometimes it takes 5 times, and it's all to do with the position of the two camshafts, and sometimes the ECU just thinks, oh yeah, everything's okay, and it fires. So I just called Bianca to see if she can get a timing chain kit. She said yes, but they're coming in at more than £1,000. I've come down with some severe illness as well, obviously caught it off the little boy. And it's just kicking in right at this moment as well, which is, you know, perfect timing. The cheapest timing chain kit that I can find right now at the minute is on eBay, £585 in Germany. 585 quid, the cheapest. 600, oh, there was a £580. Oh, I saved myself £5, amazing. Oh, there's one in the UK, £767. And I'm having this, I'm just going back to when I bought this car from the previous owner, and it just occurred to me, you know when you go and you buy a new car and there's like a million things going on at once, you're looking around a car, you're trying to listen to what they're saying, you're trying to see if you're being ripped off, you know what I mean, there's like all the inputs going on and you're kind of half listening, half looking at that, is that a bit of rust, is the battery there, is there an engine even, and all the while he's going, oh yeah, you know, like, you know, I really like this car, my kids love it, and da-da-da. And now it's just occurring to me that he mentioned something about the chain tensioner. And I was like, oh yeah, it's fine, no worries, yeah. Also, how do you do the timing chain on this? I took the engine out of my old Cayenne. I don't know if this is a job you can do with the engine in. It might even be engine out. Not economically viable. Why did I start a channel with cars that are not economically viable? £767!
That night I went home, blew my nose, put my feet up, did a bit of extra research and got back into the workshop bright and early the next morning.
I'm going to be honest with you, the jury is still out as to whether or not it is even a stretch timing chain. I've seen some people with this issue say it was just the tensioner. So of course if the tensioner failed, the chain is kind of rattling around, right? And then that would make the ECU think that it was a stretch chain. There could actually also be a stretched chain. I'm just going to read the codes on this and see if there's anything that can point me further in a direction. And I suppose this is my reminder to everyone watching. This isn't a do as I say channel, and it's certainly not a do as I do channel. Why didn't I just scan this? Yeah, I don't know why I didn't scan it to begin with. Because I'm an idiot. Right, so we've got 4 codes on the engine management, but we've got crankshaft position to intake camshaft, bank 1 exceeds limit value, thermostat stuck open, fuel pressure or quantity too low at start, exceeds limit value, and camshaft sensor. What if I've got all the issues? What if I've got a stretched chain and bad fuel pressure? That would be good, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. But this is where you guys come in. You guys can be absolutely fantastic in the comments. You usually are. And I know there's some really technical people that watch these videos. What do you think? Let me know, because I don't want to have to spend £700 on a timing chain kit and do that job if I don't have to, because I do believe you have to drop the engine and it's a massive job.
But I did have something to cheer me up.
This is Alex from V8 Design, and well, I'm going to show you exactly what Alex has made me. I am so excited for this. Ladies and gents, check this out. So we all know, we've all seen the black Cayenne, the parts car, right? So the engine out of that, because it was absolutely, completely toast, well, Alex got in touch and said, oh, I make coffee tables and, you know, centerpiece tables out of engines. How about one from that Cayenne engine? And this is the end result. That you can see what we've done is use all the pistons that were in the engine and deliberately kept all of the damage and kind of a load of the scuffs and the marks and the bore scoring. It's worse around the other side, wasn't it? Yeah. There's a load of bore scoring. Leave it all on there, but tidy it up, make it all nice, and yeah, preserve the story and give us a really lovely piece of furniture. Oh, lovely.
It's heavier than it was when I put it in this morning.
Oh, this is going to look so good. So good. This is properly cool. So, I mean, you've cleaned, talk us through what you've done here, mate, because I can see that it's cleaned up, it looks painted.
So I collected it from you as it came out of the car.
Yeah.
And it's been acid dipped to clean it all off.
Yeah.
And then the bottom half from the grey is powder coated in gunmetal grey.
Yeah.
And then the top half has been lineaged back a bit, cleaned up, and then lacquered, so you can still see the bore score on the bores, and same on the pistons, so you can see the wear on the pistons, where it's scored on the pistons.
Yeah.
And then lacquered over, and there we are. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's so cool. So when Alex got in touch with me and said that he could make a table, we thought what would be really cool with this one is to just keep a load of that damage that was on the pistons. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, go back and I'll link to it. You can go and see that video. But it was really important that we kept a load of the damage and kept the story alive. Otherwise, I didn't want it to just kind of like turn into just a bit of a generic V8 table. This was this is a very personal, piece of furniture. Yeah. And I think you've done an amazing job, mate. Yeah. It's so good. I think all that damage still on the pistons there, and
it's battle scars on it.
Yeah. It's properly
tells a story.
Cool. It does tell a story, and hopefully this is going to stay with me for many years to come. So
I'm sure it will.
It's so good.
Happy with it.
Yeah, it's so good. And I'll put a link to Alex's website in the description below. Go and check out his other work. He does loads of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, sofas, tables, chairs, all sorts. Yeah.
So go check it out. This is sweet. It's lovely. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
It was time to move on to unmodifying the rest of this car.
And here is the exhaust system from underneath. Now I think this is a somewhat custom system. Basically, it's as loud as it is because it's kind of missing the back box, right? So it's got these two little, I don't even want to really call that a silencer, to be honest. There should be a good old massive great back box in there. and it dampens a lot of the sound. This is kind of straight piped in a sense, I suppose you could probably say. But replacing this really shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Now, a brand new factory exhaust for this car would cost thousands. But let's not forget, I have the parts car. And this exhaust has already passed an inspection on this car, so I know it's good to go. The only bit of extra prep that I did was to spend way too long polishing the tips, which actually came up really well. I also took the opportunity to replace the sleeve connectors, as the old ones had started to crack.
One of the few modifications that I'm going to keep is that this is all off the old car, right? So the cats are on the car at the front, so coming out of the turbo, the cats are on the car, and this car just went through its MOT and it passed the emissions just fine. Now you do have a secondary stage cat on this exhaust system. You can see that that's the one on the bolts to the turbo, comes down through this flexi and then into this. Now the problem that I've got here with these second stage cats, I was going to refit them, but can you see the absolute state of these nuts and bolts? So I actually did manage to get this one off, but I snapped this bolt, and that I can't get that out. I can't get it out. I've given it all sorts of hell. You'd have to, I think, cut it off, maybe drill it out, and then the state of these other threads anyway, you'd have to do it with all. Basically, it's a hell of a lot of work for something I don't necessarily need. So then, one of the only modifications I am going to keep on this car is simply that the second stage cats aren't going to be fitted. You can see here is the kind of like a bypass pipe, I suppose. They're gonna stay, and we're just gonna concentrate on getting this exhaust system from here backwards done. But once I get this exhaust system off, I also need to see to this prop shaft, or this cardan shaft, or whatever you wanna call this shaft. This is what transmits the drive from the gearbox all the way back there to the rear diff. Now, what's happened here is that this center bushing in there is completely shot, and so you should be able to see me move it. I don't know how well that's coming out on camera, but it's very loose. There's an audible clunking. You can feel it when you're driving, just when you pull away, there's a dunk, there's a clunk in the drive line. It's that. And you can buy kind of rebuild kits for this center bearing. They're not cheap, and they also look like a massive hassle to do. You can kind of do them on the car. But if I'm completely honest with you, I've just gone ahead and bought a whole new prop shaft here. You can see it's a GKN. It's brand new. You get the center bit, but you also get the benefit of having a new donut and then a new what's-it-majigger, this thing here on the back as well. And that ended up costing me less than the repair kits for that. So I thought this is an absolute no-brainer. And before anybody says, you just destroyed a perfectly good exhaust there, I really didn't. Look, you can see not only how that's all cracked in there, but when I was taking the exhaust out just then, the whole what's-it-majig on the end, the whole tip just fell off. Now that is actually supposed to be welded onto there. So absolutely no love lost with this exhaust. It is quite scabby underneath, but this is all just surface rust, and is exactly the kind of surface rust you get on cars in the UK with our weather that at this age with that amount of miles. So none of it's structural, but it would be amazing if I was to go like really far with this car. I don't know, drop the rear subframe, do all of that, sort all of this surface corrosion out. That could be really cool. But a lot of time and a lot of money.
What am I looking at? So I've just pulled the prop shaft out. This is that centre bearing. All I can say is, what? Because someone has actually been in here, hope you can see this. Somebody has been in here and basically cable tied the centre bearing. Has someone done that? Is that a repair? That can't be factory. But no wonder this whole thing was just rocking around like that. Is someone? No. Yeah, I think someone has. This is what it's supposed to look like. No cable ties whatsoever. Just pure centre bearing. Oosh. And that's obviously on there. And there we go. There is the new prop shaft installed. It went in nice and easy. I used all my marks to line this back up again. A load of witness marks. Everything just went in nice.
And I know there's at least one person going, actually, they're not the correct exhaust tips for that car.
Correct, actually. They did change the design on this facelifted version, but these new tailpipes, if you want to buy these new, the correct ones for the facelift version, they're about £400 each. I do hope all of that hard work has paid off. Now, I'm not looking for this car to be silent. At the end of the day, this is still a Porsche, and it's got a twin turbo V8 engine. I'm okay with a little bit of a burble, you know, a little bit sporty sounding, but I just don't want it to be like like it was before. I also want to obviously see if the car, you know, moves under its own power with that prop shaft. Oh. Oh, night and day. What's that? What's that I can hear? Oh, it's myself thinking. I can hear myself thinking. Oh. Oh. So much better. It probably sounds funny to you, it's echoey in here of course, but I'm telling you, that's normal, basically. And it will settle down a little bit in a second when it comes out with open loop. Let me open the door because I'm gassing myself. There you go. Oh, perfect. Look, if I stand back here, you can hear it just burbling away. Oh, so nice. Oh, that's absolutely spot on. And we have drive. Perfect. Do we have reverse drive? We have reverse drive. This is good news. Still got to pull the engine out, but you know. Oh, God. But there are still modifications that need to be removed from this car. And that's these air filters.
Oh, but mate, those air filters are going to be giving you at least 2.5 extra horsepower each. Let me tell you right now that the way these are set up in this car, all they're really doing is sucking in ginormous amounts of hot air. In fact, I would wager that these cone filters are actually decreasing the power of this engine, not increasing.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. There we go, airboxes both installed. That's great news. One thing I am missing, I think I might have it on the parts car. I'd have to dig around in the boot at some point, but there's obviously a load of plastic trim that goes all the way around there and then down that side too to kind of cap all of that off. That was missing from this car, but I'm not going to stress about that too much. This is looking pretty unmodified now, I'm going to be honest.
Next up was some easy fixes. So this car was used by a car audio company as a demonstrator, and when I bought it, they just removed their equipment but didn't have any of the old stuff to refit. So there was a boot floor with a hole in it for a subwoofer that needed replacing, a few bits of trim to reattach, Then I fitted the head unit from the parts car. And also the Bose speakers and grills.
And now we're at the part of the video that I think you've all been waiting for. Well, I know I certainly have been, and that is to finally remove this wrap. I cannot wait to see this car without the wrap, back to its standard paint, and Lord only knows that the good folks at Ilkley Car Audio have had enough free advertising. Now obviously you can see I'm not at the workshop. I am now back home on my driveway. This is the last of the end of the summer sun. It's actually really quite warm out, and the sun is having the effect of just warming the paint up and warming this wrap up actually quite nicely. So that's only going to aid. It's only going to aid in removing this. Now I am a little bit worried about the horrors that removing this wrap may uncover. Now, so the guy who sold me this, Ilkley Car Audio, he did say that this wrap has only been on this car for about 18 months. So I am hoping that once I take it off, there aren't any big kind of witness marks, you know, from the sun where the bits that are exposed are going to be more faded than the bits under the wrap. I'm hoping to have avoided any of that. But the other thing as well that we're going to have an issue with is, in the last video, I very hastily started to remove the wrap from this car. I did it without a heat gun. I just pulled at it because, well, I only have 3 brain cells, and you can see that a load of the lacquer actually came off with it. Oh, I mean, if I was to pull all of this wrap off and all of the lacquer from all of the panels starts coming off, I am in trouble. But what I do have this time around is I've got my heat gun, I've got some of these plastic scrapers, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to really take my time. I'm going to go nice and easy and gentle with it and just see how that treats me. I'm so excited for this. Oh, that's coming off lovely. Yes. Right, so I've been going now for about 5 hours, making some good progress. Glad I've got this heat gun. This definitely seems like the sort of job that you should be able to outsource on Fiverr. Oh, that is boring, but it's off. And that is also one of the biggest single chunks, so I'm glad I got that over and done with to begin with. And I'm just very grateful to see, very relieved to see that there's no lacquer peel. That all came off really nicely there. Just the paint underneath is exactly what you'd expect of a 17-year-old car. There's some stone chips, a whole bunch of swirl marks, but yeah, it's off without the lacquer peel. That's basically my big thing. Right, now I've just got the rest of the car to do. Hey, what do you reckon to that then? How good does that look? Oh, it looks so much better without that wrap. That has taken me, honestly, hours to get to this stage. Absolutely hours, but I'm so pleased with it. This car is going to be eventually really, really, really nice. Now, I don't know how well it is or isn't coming out on camera. It's almost impossible for me to see. But there are some kind of witness marks where the wrap was. Now, a lot of that is actually just sticky residue. I've just gone over this with a bit of soapy water and a microfiber cloth, and it all disappears. I think really I need to get some TFR or something like that and go over this properly, but this car needs a whole bunch of paintwork and stuff anyway in a future episode, so I'm not going to concern myself too much right now about this. But the car does look fantastic, and it's so good as well without the Porsche sun visor thing across the top. I mean, I know that screen needs replacing as well, but I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased. If you come around the back, you'll see that I haven't bothered with any of this. And the reason is because I started to take this, the wrap that was off on this bit, and you can see here, so the paint came away, but the paint came away because all of that in there is corroded. It's really heavy corrosion. I could probably put my thumb through there, and it's all bubbled on there. I mean, I don't even think that's to do with the wrap, because this bit under here hasn't been wrapped and that's got a lot of corrosion. I imagine it's leaking in through somewhere, probably the windscreen wiper, something like that. But I do know a man that has another tailgate in black, if you know what I mean. What do you reckon?
Well, it's looking great.
It's all right with the wrap off, isn't it?
Yeah, what's happening here?
Yeah, just the witness marks, but it needs a load of bodywork yet, so
okay.
It will be polished and TFR'd. And have you even looked inside this one yet?
No, never.
Have a look inside.
Oh, shall we have a little look?
Have a look inside, go on.
Oh, go on, you're going to go in? Plush bit of leather.
Not bad, is it?
No, it's all right. I'll tell you what, it's a darn sight bigger in here than the Golf.
Yes.
We actually might be able to fit Arlo's new car seat in here.
Not only his new car seat, but let me show you something that
baby, hang on.
I think you're gonna love.
Oh,
Right, picture this.
It's really clean.
Not only that, picture this. Look, both parts of the pram
I know.
and shopping.
Yeah, I know.
All in one thing.
Literally a game changer.
Are you gonna be all right driving this? What do you reckon? All right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to remind myself how to drive an automatic. Yeah, that's a nice added touch, that.
Yeah, it needs a new windscreen.
Yeah, that's a bit rubbish.
You need to remind yourself how to drive an automatic.
Yeah.
You drive an automatic by just not changing gear, love.
Yeah, I know.
It's just an accelerator and a brake pedal.
And does this all work?
Yes. It's missing the subwoofer in the back.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
And I don't...
exactly going to be playing banging tunes.
Yeah.
Row, row, row your boat.
boat.
It needs a bit of a hoover.
And a timing chain.
Yeah, and that.